world. My father had a real gift for building things and fixing things. When my three sisters and I were very young, he built a swing set in our backyard, but this was not a kit from a store. He designed it and built it himself, and the poles were basically plumbing pipes. And it was a very, very sturdy swing set that lasted for years, although I did grow up thinking that American Standard made playground equipment. My father was into recycling before there was a word for it. He would rather fix an old something than buy a new anything. Anybody could buy something, he would say, as he took the Mixmaster or the toaster down to the basement workshop to work on. And he would get things. I mean, in the bathroom, there was a hot lather machine from a barbershop, and this thing was the size of a toaster, and it was stainless steel and its rounded corners and had Art Deco designs on it, and his barber was going to get rid of it. Because can you believe they were going to get rid of this? All it needed was a heating coil. They were going to get rid of it. And so hot lather machine in the bathroom. Then one summer in the back of the house, there appeared an ice machine, a hotel ice machine, like 4 feet wide, about 6 feet high. And he said, can you believe it? They were going to throw this out, and all it needed was a condenser. They were going to throw it. So we had plenty of ice for family parties for years and years. And we had family parties. So my father he worked on lamps and fans and dishwashers and cars and outboard motors and lawnmowers. He built our first stereo system. It started off with somebody getting rid of a turntable. Can you believe they were going to throw this out? It only needs a belt. And then he went out and he bought speaker components and a preamp and an amp, and he built a cabinet for it, and he had the speakers all wired up and everything. And he did not subscribe to Stereo Review. I mean, he just had a gift. He could take things apart and put them together, and they would work. But he was never able to transfer that skill set to me. I am remarkably, embarrassingly inept at all things mechanical. The next nail I hammer into a piece of wood without bending it will be my first. And for a time I thought that this was a disappointment, that I was a disappointment to my father, because he could do all these things and I couldn't. You know, we go fishing and he'd be working on the outboard motor and doing things and tying the knots on the line and stuff, and I'd be reading. He goes, "You're always reading, stop the reading." And so I felt, in many ways, I was a disappointment to him, until in October 1968, as I was home, I was 19 years old, and I was leaving for Vietnam. I was in a service, and I was saying goodbye to my mother in the kitchen, and it was emotional. And my father left the room, and when he came back into the room, he was dabbing his eyes with a handkerchief. And this tough, hard man was crying for me. And he gave me a hug, and he kissed me on my cheek, and he didn't say a word, but I knew he loved me. And of all the things we can teach our children, and our parents, and our spouses, to teach them that we love them is, I think, the most important thing.